All right, welcome back. Gwyned here, Standard Pauper Deck-Tech. This is game 2 of the match I played in MPDC 14-6 against Shifting Shadows in round 3. I won the first one, and um, here we go for game 2. We'll go ahead and take a look at my opener here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this. It'd be nice to have some black mana, but the fact of the matter is I don't have any black cards in my hand, so I'm not as worried about it and should be fine. Love having turn 2 Squadron Hawk, being able to equip Life Staff on turn 3. All those things are great. So we'll have an interesting decision here whether I want to go ahead and play out the Life Staff here or play the Cabire Crossroads. I don't have a 3-drop. I think. Yeah, let's see. How does that mana work out? Let's just see what I did. There are several ways you can play it. Okay, so I do just go ahead and play out the Crossroads here. It does delay getting the Life Staff off, but that's probably fine. Go ahead and take the life gain here, and that way it doesn't inhibit my mana for the rest of the game. So that makes sense. All right, so let's see what my opponent has for an opener. Finds a mountain, not a fetch land, which is kind of unusual for a turn 1 play. Draw into a Sanctifiers, which it doesn't appear to be real great for this matchup, but he certainly does have a Life Staff and some of those Hedron Rovers, so certainly has some targets here. All right, so I will go ahead and just play out the Lone Missionary here. Turn 2 Squadron Hawk's generally better, but if he has removal, I'd like to go ahead and bait it out with the Lone Missionary. The life gain is nice, and if he doesn't have anything, it's certainly a slightly better attacker. So padding my life here, though, is definitely a good idea. And let's see, goes ahead and uses Burst Lightning on it. Much rather have a Lone Missionary Burst Lightning than a Squadron Hawk, which is kind of why I did that. So let's see what he's got here. Got that fetch land. I'm not sure if he just drew it or if he really thought he needed the removal turn 1, but you know, again, probably if he had the Evolving Wilds, he certainly wanted to play it turn 1 rather than turn 2. At least in most instances. So here, a draw. The Prism could not have asked for a better draw. Again, you know, turn 3 Squadron Hawk would be great, but here I can play out the Prism and bounce it with the Glen Hawk and get another card. That's definitely going to be the right play. And draw into another Prism, which is just fine. I'll have 2 in hand, which isn't, you know, great. And he goes ahead and immediately has a Lightning Bolt for the Glen Hawk, but, you know, it essentially replaces itself because of getting to replay the Prism. So that's not a big deal. Alright, so let's see what he has now. Goes ahead and has a Plated Geopede. Assume he'll have another, nope, doesn't have a 3rd land or is holding it for the Plated Geopede. Not really sure which, but in any case, here I will go ahead and now go ahead and play out the Squadron Hawk so that I have the blocker as well as the Sylvic Life Staff. Would have been nice to draw a land there, but I'm sure I will have opportunities to draw other lands. So go ahead and get this out, fill my hand up with Squaddies, and we're past the turn back. See if my opponent has a removal spell. Just has a normal land here. Here I'm actually not going to block, because if I'm going to block with a Squadron Hawk, I'd rather wait till I have a Life Staff on it. And if he's only going to do 3, it's really not that big a deal. So we'll go ahead and just let him hit me. Especially since I'm at 26, I think I can afford to take the hit. Let's see what else he's got. He plays out, Manic Vandal, and blows up my Life Staff. So that's unfortunate. Fortunately, I have another one in hand, so not too big a deal. Manic Vandal is certainly good against this deck because it really relies upon its artifact. So, and in fact, as you're going to see, he has several of these, unfortunately. All right, so here, go ahead and still don't draw a land. I'm going to go ahead and do the old Core Skyfisher bounce a land trick so that I can do another play here. Squadron Hawk or Prism, or could equip a Sylvic Life Staff. Those are the kind of the 3 choices with the extra land. Probably not the Squadron Hawk. Don't really need another one. Prism or equip Life Staff I think are the 2 choices here. So I draw a land, which, oh no, that's the land I bounced, excuse me. So I do go ahead and play out the Life Staff and equip it onto the Squadron Hawk. Obviously I'm not going to attack there so that I have a blocker. Being stuck on mana really stinks, but of course my opponent isn't doing much better, fortunately. So he does, like I said, have another Manic Vandal, destroys the Life Staff, And now he can go ahead and attack. Now, he doesn't have another land, though, which really inhibits his landfall. Played GP doesn't do much of anything as a 1-1, and all he can do is pass the turn back. Hopefully I can draw out of this Mana Screw. Find yet another Glenhawk, which again is going to help me draw, so I am fine with that. Play out the Prism, bounce it back to my hand with the Glenhawk, that great Grasp of Darkness that would be very hard to play. Of course, with double Prism, not impossible. Go ahead and return the Prism back, and yeah, we'll just keep rocking and rolling here. Both of us stuck on land. Has a Bushwhacker there, which definitely hurts. But the fact that his creatures are, only the Manic Vandals are only 2 power, and the Bushwhackers are 1 power, I have a lot of easy blocks I can make here. So let's see what he does. Okay, so he's gonna leave the GOP back, obviously. Here, I'll just go ahead. I'll pair up the Glenhawk on one of the Manic Vandals and kill the Bushwhacker with my Core Skyfisher and take 2. Not really sure that was the most advantageous attack for him. I mean, it certainly got him in for a few points of damage, but happy to trade off creatures with him as much as he wants. So, but he doesn't have any land either. I draw yet another Life Staff, which isn't a terrible draw. Here, oh gosh, I think I would need to play out a Prism here again, just trying to find a land, and that is in fact what I do. Do finally find a land, pop the Terramorphic for my first swamp, and now I'm getting a little bit of business. Drop my 3rd Life Staff. Nice that I drew so many, considering all the Manic Vandals that he's going to draw. It's nice that I have a nice little supply of Life Staffs coming. He finds a land as well, and he's going to go ahead and swing in here. Again, it's only 3 damage. Oh, actually, I do go ahead and chump. Interesting. I probably should have just taken it. I think that was a pretty hasty chump. There really was no reason for that, considering he's only swinging in at 3. It was definitely playing too conservatively there. So yes, he has the 3rd Manic Vandal for my 3rd Sylvic Life Staff. Pretty interesting. So that's fine. And find yet another Glenhawk. No complaints there. Go ahead and use Grasp of Darkness on the plate of GP to get it out of there, and play out the Prism. Find a Doomblade. An argument could be made that I could have just played the Glenhawk, and but it's fine. That's fine. Really doesn't have any attacks here unless he has a Burst Lightning in hand. I mean, or another Bushwhacker lets him get in a pretty good attack here. Hit me for 6, or I guess 8. But again, just block the Goblin Bushwhacker if he wants to. Use a Burst Lightning or whatever at that point for the 2-for-1. That's fine. But doesn't have anything. Passes the turn back. Here, I think I do need to go ahead and use the Doomblade on the Manic Vandal just to stay alive. I think that's a fine play. And then, but he is now packing Vines of Vastwood. Not sure if he had any before or not, but may have brought him out of the sideboard. But in any case, go ahead and protects that, which is unfortunate. But in some ways, it's better to get it out defensively, because offensively it can really be painful. So yeah, I do here go ahead and pull out the Glenhawk, bounce a Prophetic Prism, and go ahead and draw another Squadron Hawk as well. So again, gives me an opportunity to trade off with the Manic Vandals, unless he's got some way of pumping up toughness, which he doesn't. Really don't understand this attack. He's going to sacrifice a Manic Vandal for no gain, and trading off a Glenhawk here is fine. So not really sure why he made that attack, considering he had no pump. So has another Geopede, but again, at this point, I've got enough on my board and enough potential other draw that it's really not going to be much of an issue. Find a Journey to Nowhere, which is great. Go ahead and just play that out, get rid of the Geopede, and go to town. Swing in, and play out another Squadron Hawk, pass the turn back. And my opponent plays out a Hidden Rover, which I have the Core Sanctifiers for, which is really, definitely backbreaking for him. And I will continue to swing in, and at this point I've pretty much got this game wrapped up. So play out yet another Prism, continue to draw, find another land. Feeling pretty good. So here he's got a Territorial Baloth, but I've got enough chumpers that I can, chump for the rest of the game without any problem. And just continue to draw into lands, but that's fine. Swing in here, leave the Core Sanctifiers back to block. Actually, no, I'll probably block with that Squadron Hawk. It'd be silly to kill off the Sanctifiers for no reason. And see, this is really why, man, if this had Trample, it would really, really be powerful. But the fact that it doesn't just means I can keep chumping it off all day, and it really makes it a pretty ineffective card. So I continue to draw land, but it doesn't really matter because I can just continue to swing in here. And next turn, I've easily got lethal, and my opponent goes ahead and concedes. So that's the match. Hope you enjoyed watching it. Definitely kind of had a comeback game one, but game two was definitely very firmly in my control. This has been Standard Pauper Deck-Tech. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time. Thanks for watching.